Oh my god, what's happening here? Hold on. Not my hair. This camera. Let's see. Hold on. Okay, much better. Hey, Into Red Room, it's Tony. So, I'm gonna do like a short video. When we say short, you know what that means. Not. So anyway, so I did a grocery haul video a few like weeks ago, whatever, a month ago, something like that. And I'm gonna like show you, I guess, my like top like items that I get from the grocery store. I don't know. Like, I do plan on making like a cooking video or a few of them in the future. Oh no, I can't do that right now because it's gonna mess up the whole thing. Okay, never mind. Never mind. But I'm gonna like do that. But I'm gonna like show you like the top things. And they're like, it's not a bunch of like stuff. It's just things that I kind of find like interesting. I don't know. Like, so yeah. So the first things are onions and garlic. So I am very garlic and onion heavy in my cooking, very onion heavy. It could be like this one, which is this is jumbo yellow. I've used white, sweet, red, doesn't really matter. I use it. I didn't grow up liking onions. I felt like texturally it was like a weird thing for me. Like my grandmother would always like, just ignore, like just eat it, like there's nothing in there. I'm like, I can clearly taste the fucking onion, like I can clearly taste it. Like I know that it's there. Like what do you keep trying to like make me like ignore the fact that this exists? So yeah, but after she died and I had to like make food, I've been cooking with a lot of onion. So I have like some other stuff that's related to that, but I like cooking with onions. I add them to a lot of things. I just feel like, why not? And also, as far as like immunity health and stuff like that, like onions are actually pretty decent along with garlic. So, segue into that. I'm very into garlic as well. I have like 12 like bulbs or whatever, cloves, or 12 of these in there. And yeah, I just like garlic as well. I use a lot of garlic powder, which is on here, but I do like using like fresh garlic for my collard greens recipe. And I guess I'll just show you guys that one day, what I use for collard greens. It's a big soul food thing. I'm African American, so collard greens is just like a thing. I know like across the globe there's probably some version of it, right? But like I don't come across too many people where like collard greens are like a thing. It's usually like people in the US eat them, particularly like the southern US, and then particularly like African Americans, although like white southerners do eat it as well, or Appalachian. You might eat it as well. But yeah, I use both of these in that like recipe, but I'm very garlic healthy, like heavy. I really enjoy it. I really like garlic. I like the taste of it. I'm not opposed to garlic breath or anything like that, so I don't really care. I will stuff eat that. I'll ask for it in my pizza. I really like it. So those two are the main things, like onions, garlic. I'm always gonna like have them in some capacity. I may have like 3 of these and then 2 of red and then 1 of white or something like that. Like it's always onions, always garlic in there. In terms of like canned goods and like things you would get in the aisles or whatever, I always go for like some sort of green bean. I have the wax ones that I just cooked recently, but usually I get kind of like this low sodium. And the reason I get low sodium in general is just because I want to have a little bit more control over the sodium. I'm not that like high blood pressure or anything like that. I am diabetic, which I like definitely don't take into account with all the stuff I cook. But yeah, I get low sodium just because I also cook for someone who's older and they're on a lot of medications, and it's kind of like I need you to like stay alive and not like get overloaded with this. So I add the salt to the food that I cook. So I try to have like lower sodium, and I don't even add as much salt in general now. So sometimes I taste it and I'm like, oh, it's under salt. So, oh shit. But yeah, like some sort of green bean kind of thing. Peas are like pretty good too, but I definitely am a green beans kind of person. I used to get collard greens from a can, but they usually have a lot of salt. And then also I like the recipe that I have like way better. So like now that I get them, I'm like, it's not hitting the same. It don't hit the same. So yeah, I feel like if you get canned goods, just get the like the cheapest brand. Like I don't really feel like there's too much. Just look for the ingredients. This has green beans, water, and salt. Like that's it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the next thing would be some sort of broth. I have chicken broth, beef broth, turkey broth. I usually use this in my collard green recipe. I guess I'm gearing up to make that video one day. So this is from Swanson. This is basically the brand that I use. I do have like the Giant brand of like chicken broth or beef broth, I think. So I just use these. I use this for cabbage. I use this for meatballs. I use this for a lot of stuff, like the base for a gravy, all that kind of stuff. Green beans, use it. All of that kind of stuff. I'm not like the biggest cook in terms of like I'm cooking like duck or like turkey or like a whole chicken or anything like that. I'm not like that advanced yet. So most of the recipes that I have in my mind are like very simple. But I definitely use some sort of broth. Oh, and I use broth. I want to use broth for mac and cheese because you probably shouldn't. Like the first time I made mac and cheese in a very long time, it was like actually pretty good. But I seasoned the water that the noodles were in, and that's the key for me. I don't think you should just use water. Just saying. I like mine. I don't like it all gooey and stringy and stuff like that. I just feel like you're about to go to the bathroom. I'm not necessarily the macaroni pie person either. They look... But I am like okay with it being like a block. Like I'm okay with that. A block or less stringy. I personally, as I get older, that's my favorite because I kind of just feel like the stringy is kind of weird and just reminds me of stovetop and doesn't seem cooked. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to get in trouble with that. Next would be olive oil. This is extra virgin, but I got like 3 types. So like I look at this little label here that tells you what you do with it. So you have some for the dressing, some for frying, some for sauteing. I just get all of them. I am open to using like truffle oil, sesame seed oil, avocado oil, stuff like that. I don't eat avocado, so I'm kind of like, I hope it doesn't change the taste too much of stuff that I want. I just want to make sure that it doesn't. But some sort of oil, I use it in the place of butter. Well, really in the place of like vegetable oil and kind of like canola, like all of that. I just use this instead. And I kind of feel like it doesn't seem so heavy because I kind of feel like also cooking with that, I feel like I have noticed that like it does feel kind of like heavy as well. But I also don't fry a lot of stuff. I like saute it and cook it and stuff. So I don't really fry too much. I eat a lot of processed food because I go out, but at home that's not what I do. Anyway, onto like the spices, seasonings. Himalayan salt, I think you guys saw, if you watched that video, you would have seen this. This is pink Himalayan salt. This is the brand that I just happened to get. It's from the International grocery store that's close to my house. Yeah, sea salt I also recommend it, although sea salt is very easy, I find, to go overboard with the seasoning. You really don't want to do it the same way that you would salt with like this, or even like the iodized salt. I've gotten away from the iodized salt a little bit just because it seems like it takes forever to season the food with that. And you know, I don't know if I've become more sensitive to salt in general, but like I just don't feel like that should be the main thing. It brings things out like together, definitely, hands down. But I don't know. I put salt in last for most of the times when I'm cooking because, you know, it usually doesn't need to be that much. Okay, on to all the other spices. So onion powder, obviously I'm just trying this brand, but I love onion powder as well. I have like dehydrated onion, chopped onion up there as well, but onion powder is also a thing, and I will literally have onions in it, something, and then put this in there as well. So I do that. And the same thing with the garlic powder. I just got this one. I will put garlic and then add this, but usually if I'm like lazy, I'll just put this in there instead of chopping it. I am very garlic heavy with this as well. Other things that I like using: oregano, cumin. I really like using cumin for a rice recipe. I am not good at making rice. Like, it's just not a thing for me. And I need to like get better at it, but like I like putting this in a rice recipe that I've kind of like started making. So there's that. I really enjoy paprika. I really do. I really enjoy it. And then by that token, cayenne pepper. I've been drawn to using cayenne pepper a little bit more, mainly because like my knees be hurting, and so I like cook this into the foods, and I kind of feel like taking it that way because low-key, this is not medical advice or anything like that, but it is known to kind of like help because the capsaicin is kind of like that heat, whatever. I worked at a pharmacy and they would like prescribe that cream to people. So I'm just like, can I just like cook and put this in there, and then it just runs through my bloodstream, and then it'll be like cool as a digest and shit. Great, let's do that instead. So there's that. I also like crushed red pepper like this. I like the heat. I try to like do better because my granddad is like, this is hot, this is hot. I'm like, no, like you're fucking up my style here. I'm just saying, you're fucking up my style. And then lastly, I use cinnamon. Now I know some cooking, like Indian cooking and stuff like that, might use cinnamon in like, you know, like a chicken recipe or a rice recipe or something like that, or like, you know, I use cinnamon generally with the sweet stuff. So I make stewed apples. I use that. I'm gonna try and do rice pudding. We'll see. But I definitely use it in more like dessert, sweet kind of things. I love cinnamon. It's like basically my favorite spice. And yeah, I really like it. Stewed apples is my thing. I'm going to change up the recipe because I use a lot of cinnamon, which can make it very gritty. I don't mind it being like really dark, the cinnamon, like the actual stewed apples, because of the cinnamon, right? I don't mind the cinnamon making it darker, but I do mind the gritty taste of it because, yeah, or means that I may have to just use sticks instead. But yeah, these are things that I really like in my kitchen when I do cook. Those are the things that I reach for a lot. So yeah, that's it. I'll talk to you guys later. I'm just like very like, yeah, all right. Bye.